Hello and welcome to Patreon Good Morning Dopey. This is going to be a YouTube Good Morning Dopey Patreon joint. My name is Dave and my guest is Erin KHAR. Welcome back to the show.
Hello.
What do you think about all this technology, Erin KHAR?
I mean, it's interesting. I like it. I think the show is looking really good. The quality is
What
good.
What do you think of
I
the
just have to
wood?
not look at myself.
I hear you. What do you think about the wood paneling versus the old chaotic posters?
Yeah, I think it's better.
You think it's
I
better?
liked the chaotic. I do. I liked the chaotic posters, but I think that this is a little more soothing.
Yes, it feels like a doctor's office, an unlicensed
Yes.
advice columnist's office.
Two unlicensed therapists. Although I have to tell you, my column that I put up today, I knew I would get a lot of reaction to. And I've had 3 people comment now asking me if I could do like Zoom sessions with them. I'm like, I'm not a
Wow.
therapist.
That's interesting. How much does an
Yeah.
unlicensed therapist charge for an unlicensed Zoom
Oh,
meeting?
I'm sure they charge a lot. That's what coaches are, right? They're not licensed.
But you don't
I
want to
mean,
do
maybe
it.
some of them are. No, I mean, I would do it like if somebody needed help, I would hop on a quick Zoom because I'm a nice person.
So you don't see a
But maybe
cottage
I should
industry.
monetize. Well, there probably is one. I should monetize it.
Everybody's looking for their road to monetization. Please do not overlook yours. Ask Erin KHAR. Don't miss out.
I know. I should
Okay.
take your advice.
Well, that's Ask Dave. And the answer is yes, you should make money from your unlicensed therapy racket / shtick. And so this is an exciting YouTube Patreon experiment. And I want to do, would you believe that this wood paneling is actually vinyl wood flooring?
Yeah, I would. I would believe that.
Okay. Would you believe that it all fell off the wall and we had to nail it back up because you're not supposed to put it on the wall? Would you believe that?
Yes, I would also believe that.
Okay. Now, would you like to read the Ask Erin question, or you want me to read it?
Dealer's choice.
You read.
Okay. All right, here we go. Hi, Erin and Dave. I was a doormat. Now I'm angry. How does someone correct the mistake of being a doormat? I'm in a relationship with a man for 12 years and found that he was lying to me about a female friend for about a year now. All along, I knew something wasn't right. I listened to his excuses, knew they were BS, but let him get away with it. I lied to myself because I didn't want to deal with the truth. So he naturally repeated this violation several times. Although I believe he is no longer seeing her, for now anyway, I'm angry at him and at myself for allowing it to happen. I don't think he has as much respect for me anymore. I want to regain his respect and regain my own, as well as let him know that I will not tolerate this behavior and lying again. I almost wish he would tell me a big whopping lie so I could just prove to him and myself that I won't tolerate it anymore. But if that were to happen, the only other method of showing him I mean what I say this time would be to ask him to leave, and I don't think he would try to come back. I think he knows I have hit my limit this time. Should I just try to forget what has happened in the past? If so, how do I get rid of these angry feelings toward him for taking advantage of me and the angry feelings toward myself for allowing it to happen? I just feel like I need to do something, that I can't just ignore what happened and pretend everything is just fine and I'm happy, because I'm not. Thanks. Signed, the angry, humiliated doormat.
Wow. That is a hard question, Ask Erin KHAR. Now, I want to ask you a question, okay?
Yeah.
It's like, for me, I don't even know how to say this, okay? For me, I couldn't be in it. You know what I mean? I would have to be gone. So like, but I have a friend, right, who was cheated on, right? And he left the woman, and then the woman begged and apologized and pleaded and came back, and then they had kids. They had 2 kids.
Right.
Post betrayal. But
Right.
the part in this that I don't like is like, she seems mixed up. Now let's get to your more professional, unlicensed advice. And
Unlicensed
then we'll get back to
advice.
my thought.
All right. Well, here's a little story, which is actually in my book. My first husband, who still is Atticus's dad, He cheated on me a lot, and I caught him several times, and sort of like the last time that I caught him, his mistress and I confronted him, and I asked him, like, do you even love me? And he looked at me and said, how could I love a broken dog? And that kind of, when I read this, I was thinking of that, because
He really said that?
yeah.
There was no poetic license in your writing. He actually said
Not
that?
at all. And I told him before the book came out, I'm like, the thing that's really going to bug you is I put this in the book. And I said, that's the worst thing I probably said about you. So he knows
that's really
it
a
was in
rough
there.
thing to hear. But now, Erin, if I may, you were a notorious philanderer yourself. So I think you could look the other way with impunity in an easier fashion. I was always incredibly... And I cheated on one person in my life. It was in high school, and I felt very guilty about it. I was a kid. But I think that you accepted it because you were doing it, and you were just like, it happens. You know what I mean? I think this...
I accepted it because it wasn't, I wasn't doing it at that point. I accepted it because I had no self-esteem. You know what I mean? And
that's okay. Now we're getting somewhere here.
When I was cheating, I also had very little self-esteem. Now, in my defense, a lot of that time I was telling people I was with that I wanted an open relationship, and they were saying, okay, but that's not really what they wanted. But yes, like, I lied and I cheated and I did all of that also because I had no self-esteem. The thing that really struck me in this particular email was that she said, I'm angry at him. And she says, I'm angry at him and myself for allowing it to happen. I don't think he has as much respect for me anymore. I want to regain his respect.
That's what I don't like too.
That pisses me off because, he should be regaining your respect. You've lost respect for him because he betrayed you. Now, do I think that people can cheat and mend their ways and relationships can be healed? Yes, I think it's possible. But I think, number one, you should go and see a therapist, a licensed therapist, together.
Not an unlicensed life coach?
No. And perhaps separately to figure out why this happened in your relationship. Because truthfully, honestly, sometimes in a relationship, you end up somewhere where somebody cheats because there was something broken in the relationship that wasn't being addressed. And then rather than addressing what was going on in the relationship, somebody cheats. That's a very common scenario. I'm not saying that it makes it right, but I've seen that happen many, many times. So I think that it's possible to regain the trust there and to rebuild this relationship, but it's going to take examining sort of what the problems were that led you there. If it's just that he's a jerk, then you should hit your limit with him and tell him to hit the road.
Or maybe you just need a break to recalibrate. But it sounds to me like what you're saying is right, because this dude, it's not like he's going to stop. Now, I'm curious, why did they want to know, like, maybe you're an expert in this relationship stuff, but why did they include me in this whole advice thing? I don't say anything about drugs, addiction, or dumb shit.
Because we put out the call for people to ask us questions about anything, and this was a dopey,
a dopey listener who's struggling with her cheating.
Over.
Let's just say her boyfriend is out smoking crack while he's cheating, to make it a little bit dopier.
Okay, well, that's really common too, right?
So what do we say? We say to this woman, get some fucking self-respect. Figure that out, right?
It's not, she needs to get some therapy. And I think that she needs to stop blaming herself for what happened and also look at what was going on in the relationship before this. Because it seems to me from her email that she had an inkling that something was off. And usually, like that stupid cliche, like it takes two to tango, a lot of times in a relationship where there's infidelity, there was something else underlying there.
Right. Very, 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 very interesting. All right, that's good. You want to answer some of DJ's questions before we go?
Let's do it.
Now, Don DJ Rents, Dopey sales team leader, is also sent the longest Ask Erin questionnaire letter in the history of Ask Erin, right? It was a 10-page document, I believe.
It was so funny. And he emailed me later and he's like, you don't even have to read that whole email. I can't believe I wrote that much. I got it on my phone and I was scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. I think I did like a screen capture and sent it to Dave because I couldn't believe how long it went on. And I did skim through the whole thing.
You read it?
I skimmed through it, yeah. I mean, I can actually have a hidden talent. I'm a speed reader, so I can actually read really quickly.
Humble bragging, Erin KHAR strikes again.
I know, I had
speed reading, humble bragging, unlicensed advice giving, Erin KHAR. So what do we got? Let's hear some of DJ's questions.
Oh, you read them this time.
Okay.
Or do you want me to do it?
DJ, ask Erin, do you think you'll ever get off psychotropic meds? Or have you accepted the fact that you have to be on them forever?
Bum, bum, bum. Well, I've accepted that I'm on them right now, and they completely changed the sabotaging behavior that I had even after, I went on Wellbutrin. That's what I'm on. I'm not a spokesperson for Wellbutrin, but it's what worked for me. And I went on it. How much time did I have? I had 7, 8 years when I went on it again. I had been on it off and on before, and I've been on it since then, and I've got almost 19 years. So, it's a good 10 years plus of being on it. And I'm not imagining that I'm going to go off it anytime soon. My psychiatrist actually upped it a little during the pandemic because I was having a really hard time. And I'm okay with it because I don't feel drugged. I feel like I'm not acting out in ways that harm myself and other people. So I'm totally accepted it. I am absolutely a person who thinks that, if a pharmaceutical enhances your life, why would you take it away? Most people end up in recovery from drug use because their life was not enhanced by that drug. Because if it were, we would still be using, right?
Did you resist going on the Wellbutrin for the first 7 years because you were worried about it interacting with your recovery or anything, or you just didn't do it?
No. Because I had taken it before, and I knew that. It doesn't get you high.
It made me feel very speedy. The Wellbutrin. It made me feel uncomfortably speedy. They prescribed me Wellbutrin when Linda was pregnant, and I wanted to quote unquote stop smoking. And the guy, and I told him my drug history, and the guy prescribed me Wellbutrin, and he's like, "This might make you feel speedy, and maybe you'd want us to prescribe you a benzo along with it." And I was like, "Yes, please.
Really?
I'll take 2 milligram sticks of Xanax, please." And he wrote me out, and then I was like, "You're going to have to give me a big bottle, though, because my insurance isn't great." And I had a huge big bottle of 2 milligram Xanax after telling the guy I was a heroin addict and a benzo addict, and he still gave me the Xanax. Yeah. He was the best psychiatrist I ever saw.
Wellbutrin, I think the first week, like when I went back on it, I wouldn't take it at night, but it doesn't make me speedy. And if it makes you super speedy, if it has those kinds of side effects, it's not the right medication for you. It's why, but see, here's the thing is that I had tried like SSRIs, which are like the Prozac and Paxil and those kinds of medications, made me so suicidally depressed. I got so much worse. They did not work at all. So it's about...
So find the medicine that's right for you, and if it's right for you, stick with it.
Stay on it.
And if you're not feeling like you need anything, don't take anything. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
If you make that decision, just make sure you do it under the care of a doctor.
All right.
That's the rest of that advice on that one.
I think that's going to be our only DJ question for this installment of Ask Erin, Patreon/YouTube. I think I think you should start life coaching. I think I should start life coaching. So if anyone is looking for another unlicensed life coach, I am here for you. I will coach you and do it very effectively. Just write me an email at Dopey.
I know people who do this.
Well, I'm going to become one of them. I'm going to become like the Jewish version of Russell Brand. So let me help you out there. Pay me and I will help you. Thanks,
and email
Erin.
your questions.
Huh?
Also, for people who've asked Ask Erin questions that we've done on the show, on the regular podcast, I've emailed people to give them their books, and like nobody's emailing me back. And I'm like, is this going to their spam folder? So if you heard your question answered on Dopey, hit me up and I'll send you a book.
All right. So make sure you get your book. It's a great book, Strung Out by the great Erin KHAR. Thank you, Erin. That was fun. This is interesting, right?
It was. Yeah.
All right. You say, yeah. You say interesting. Technology is a weird thing, but it was interesting. And Howie's rubbing himself over here. Are you showing yourself rubbing yourself? No, I'm freezing. Show yourself rubbing yourself. This is what he does. All right. Thank you. You see that? Can you do a 3-shot? No. Put yourself in the middle and do the rubbing. Anyway, goodbye, Erin. Thank you.
Bye.
Stay strong, Dopey Nation. Fucking toodles for Chris, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Yo, what's up, Dopey Nation? This is Johnny Takes, a.k.a. The Rugged Shot, a.k.a. Chuck Lewis. What up, Dave? Big ups, Chris. Toodles for Chris. Dopey Nation. Good so bad. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Have to walk around this neighborhood, but I wanna be good so bad. Wanna be so good, so bad, so bad. I wanna be good so bad. Bad desire is all I ever had, and I won't take a ride up in the sky. Watch as aeroplanes just pass me by. I wanna see you live, your life till you die. Just to show all these people what it means to be alive. I wanna be good so bad. Wanna be so good.